In this module, I learned quite a bit about Google that I did not know. First and foremost, I had no idea that they even had a teacher certification type course on easy ways to utilize Google programs in the classroom. I enjoyed doing the the fundamental training. Unit 3 was fairly easy. The school that I work at utilizes Google, Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, all of those things in essentially everything that we do, and that is how we stay connected with each other and how we share documents, not only with each other, but also with the students. So I was fairly comfortable in that. Something I did not know from that unit, though, that I did learn was that although I have answered many surveys via Google Forms and I have helped students fill out tests with Google Forms, and I even did a video or tutorial on Google Forms last week, I was unaware that the program would actually tally up all of the answers and give you data on it, but also make a Google Sheets about it so that you could better view and understand what the responses were and how frequently those responses occurred. So I thought that was really interesting. As far as Unit 4, I have a lot of experience with Gmail. I use it as my personal email as well as my school email and my work email. So I knew about the sorting and the starring and the searches. However, I do not have much experience with Google Hangouts or Google Sites. And I thought that Google Hangouts, for one, would be very useful in a larger classroom because it does give the teacher a way to connect with the students as well as for the students to communicate with each other so that they are not constantly asking the teacher if they are confused. They can more easily talk to each other about different assignments and projects, and I thought that that was really interesting. As far as Google Sites, I like the idea of having a classroom site at any grade level because having a classroom site, you can easily post a newsletter for the parents and the students to see. You can also post pictures of what you were doing, activities that you did, and the fun little things that you learned, or even having a blog of sorts about field trips and classroom projects and activities. And I think that that would be really fun to do. I would definitely be interested in completing those certifications at some point. Like I said, at the school that I work at, and I intend to continue at the school and teach at the school after I get my degree, I think that having as much knowledge in Google in an educational setting as possible is very beneficial to my career. It also would probably help with job applications because as our world is, technology is a very important aspect and we largely rely on it. And becoming more paperless is not only more efficient, but also more beneficial to the environment. So overall, I think knowing how to utilize Google in every way possible is completely 100% beneficial. So I will be going back and continuing with those credentials. As far as working with Google Slides and spreadsheets and the presentations and everything, I was really excited about that because, like I said, at the school that I work in, we work with that all the time. So I am very comfortable with working within Google, and especially with Google Spreadsheets, we utilize it most frequently to process the data that we have and organize it on our students. So I've worked on that very often. For this particular occasion, I did actually just go in and I made a very quick sheet, a very quick Google spreadsheet that I was meaning to make for school anyways. So it, like I said, it really wasn't anything new or unusual. My personal preference is I prefer Word over Google Docs, simply because it's easier to change and download fonts, and I'm just more comfortable with Microsoft Word, and I've worked with it longer. However, I do utilize Google Spreadsheets and Google Docs both at work all the time. So I am fairly confident or comfortable with those programs, and I do utilize Google Spreadsheets over Excel simply because it's just more convenient and that's what I need it for, so I don't have to upload an Excel sheet into Google Drive. And Google Slides is essentially just like PowerPoint, in my opinion. Honestly, PowerPoint or Slides isn't really something that I use too frequently. Because I just don't have a large use for it at this point in time. I'm sure that once I get into making presentations for students and whatnot, then Google Slides or PowerPoint will become of more use. But as of now, I don't really have a use for it. So, as for advantages when it comes to Google programs, you have access to all of your documents no matter where you are or what you're doing. You have them on your phone, you have them on your personal computer, your work computer. Everywhere you go, you can access your docs, your spreadsheets, no matter what. However, due to the fact that it is an internet program, it is harder to access them if you do not have internet. Whereas Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, you can access no matter if you have internet or not. Other than that, though, I believe that both of these programs do pretty much work essentially the same, and so there's not really many disadvantages or advantages to using one over the other than the fact that it is much more convenient when communicating or sharing your documents to utilize Google's, because then you can instantly share it with your Gmail or just clicking the share button and entering in the email, and just being able to access them no matter where you are. So, other than that, I don't really have very much to say. I'm sorry, I kind of rambled at that end part, but that's pretty much my thoughts for this module. So, thank you. Bye.